evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Vidane TV. Back here with TCM for round 4 of the late model stocks here this season. Haven't seen too much TV time, but getting ready to put on a show here for you. Take a quick peek at the drivers that are going to be kicking things off here for us in heat race number 1. Larry Pace, Ben Ryan going to be the front row. Mike Alexander, Scott Negus, Ashton Tucker, Chris Walsh going to be the first 6-pack of drivers. We turn the page for the second half. Ronnie McCaw, James DeVoe, Jack Simpson, Bobby Hutchings, and Andrew Starks going to round out the field in this one. 4 heat race, taking the top 4 for each. Everybody else remaining going to be going back in to a last chance qualifier or a pair of last chance qualifiers, depending on how the numbers crumbled on down. Great to have you here with us for the very first green flag here of the evening. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth in Vidane TV HQ. Cold here in southern New England, very cold. But we're glad to have you here joining us. We're live all over the internet, as we like to do. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, it's all there. Give us a like, to subscribe, to share, to follow, all that good stuff. Let your friends and family know you're watching a little bit of iRacing action here on a Sunday night. Big day in football here as well. Also, great game between the Bills and the Chargers, unfortunately, or the Rams, rather. Unfortunately, the Bills didn't come home with the dub. How about a quick time there for Larry Pace, setting the pace with a 14.413, crossing the stripe. 7 laps to go here in heat race number 1. Larry Pace able to set the pace of the field once again. A 3:48 for the quick time. A little side-by-side action in behind. Ben Ryan on the high side, a little bit squirrely, holds on to it. Mike Alexander, new colors for him in that 75 car. He's down on the bottom side, and Pace, pardon me, Pace just setting the pace. 3:38, going to be another quick time there. A little bit loose there for the 75 as they're still side by side for that second position. 5 laps to go there at the line. They sorted out for second and third. Little calamity there for fourth and fifth. Negus up into Tucker. That's going to bring that group in together very, very quickly. The 03 going to kick on down the door. I believe that's going to be the 03 is Ronnie McKay moving on up. Oh, getting around is the 016. The 7 getting a piece of the action as well. Bobby Hutchings getting able to sneak on by in the 8 car, but that is in fact going to bring out a caution here for the first time this evening. See if we can back up to U-House Racing Designs Instant Replay and take another peek at that. We're still working on the new replay system here at Vidane TV. If you haven't been with us over the past couple of weeks, new system, new graphics, new toys here at Vidane TV. There you can see that's pretty much catching back up to the end of the field in any sense. So still working out the bugs on it, still working out the kinks, but all in all, pretty excited to have all sorts of new toys here at Vidane TV as we move closer and closer to the 2025 calendar year. Lots of cool things going on in the sim racing world as well as the real racing world. So definitely keep an eye on the social channels for all that. The lights are off in the iRacing Pace car. Getting ready to do battle once again. Larry Pace leading all the laps so far in this one. Ben Ryan, Mike Alexander, Scott Negus, and Ashton Tucker, the top 5. Remember, we're taking the top 4 into the big show here this evening, the Hickory Motor Speedway 150. Everybody else going to have to race their way into a pair of consolation races. Green flag from Bubbles up in the flag stand. 2 laps to go. Big slide, big hit there for the 05 car, I believe. Going to stay green this time by. Going to take the white flag, white rag. Pace able to pull away by quite a bit. They're side by side for second and third. They're side by side for that transfer spot there as well. Larry Pace then down into 3 and 4 for the final time in this heat race. He's going to get the checkered. Mike Alexander going to finish in second. Ben Ryan and Scott Negus going to be the top 4 as they cross the stripe. Those drivers get to sit back, relax, and watch some heat racing, watch a little consolation racing, and they will be in the big show. Everybody else going to have to race their way in to the consies, or through the consies rather, as it were. So a little bit more work to do here for the rest of the drivers, but we'll take a look here at heat race number 2. There you see Matthew Barkhouse on the pole for this one. Dylan Black in the 08 car going to start on his outside. Dylan Jedry and Nathan Langell going to be row number 2. Nick Potier, we're going to roll off the top 5 with Corey Burke rolling off P6. We take a peek at the second six-pack. Gage Gilby in the 7th position with Dave Horton on his outside. Brianna Weagle going to roll off P9. Doug Murray and Jason Halverson going to round out the 11 drivers here in heat race number 2. Looks like we might have a driver with a bit of a connection issue. See if they can get that sorted out while we get on into this one. How about a great shot of that sunset there in, I believe, turn number 4. Got to give a shout out to Whiplash Cams AC4 for hooking us up. Lots of different angles that you can look at a racetrack, but we prefer the better ones. And we got those over from Whiplash Cams. Take a peek. There's that 15 car we know has won many, many races here in the TCM Special Events here in the iRacing world. He's going to start on the pole. Dylan Black on his outside. We get the 1 to go. The lights are off on the iRacing pace car. Getting ready to do battle for heat race numero 2. Pace car is down and away. We get that green flag from the flag man up in the flag stand. Matthew Barkhouse able to pull away by quite a bit, heading on down out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. The battle is for second, side by side between Black and Jedry. Black down on the bottom side, almost tries to cross up. Unfortunately, no room for him. That indeed is going to bring out the yellow flag in a big way. There were a lot of drivers involved in that one, better than half the field. To be exact, looks like Matthew Barkhouse, Dylan Black able to drive away. Let's take a peek at that U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and there you see from up in the blimp, a little side by side, little beating and banging, getting on down into the corners, and thought he had him clear here, getting into the corner. Unfortunately, bloop, on and around. That's a big hit on that outside wall, and a handful of drivers getting a piece of the action there as well. Bubbles in the flag stand getting a great view of that. Caution flag's going to fly here in a heat race number 2. And if you want to follow along at home, be sure to pull up the wingnut timing and scoring by simply going over to the website www.vidane.tv/scoring, or you can scan that QR code there on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll be able to pull that up for all of our events here at Vidane TV. We like to make sure we get practice up there, final practice, happy hour, or happy half hour as it were, for the NEP drivers on Thursday nights. And we're racing 4 nights a week here at Vidane TV. It's been a hectic winter. The Fast One late models on Monday night, the RBR Maritime Group on Tuesday, the Turn 4 Podcast Winter iRacing Series on Wednesday night, and the NEP Super Truck Series here on Thursday night. So great to have TCM back on the airwaves here at Vidane TV, and we're getting ready to go racing it once again. Heat race number 2, getting ready to be halfway in the books as the lights are off. The iRacing pace car, we're lined up 2 by 2. Another great restart from Matthew Barkhouse. Got to give a shout out to Freddie Bannister, always watching us here on Vidane TV. I see those hero cards in the background. Lots of fans all over the world, and we've got Reckon there coming out of turn number 4. Caution flag going to fly. I believe that was Corey Burke in the 741 according to scoring. See what the car number is as he comes on by. It is indeed the 741. And we'll take a look at that U-House Racing Designs instant replay. We'll back it all the way up to the restart here. And you see everything looked A-OK getting into the corners here. Had a little bit of room in front, a little bit of room behind. There's side-to-side, bumper-to-bumper, door-to-door in behind. Little bit of bump there from the 3 car and gets sent on around. That could have been a whole lot worse as it was right in the racing groove. But luckily, no harm, no foul for the 741. Going to rejoin the tail end of the field. Beak scored 8th. Remember now, we're taking the top 4 from these heat races. Everybody else, they're going to have to come in to the LCQs, and I believe we've got 2 of them on the go here for this evening, and we'll be taking the top 5 from each of those last chance qualifiers. And I always saw that as a little bit more of an advantage if you had to race your way in through the C mains and the B mains, because you get more track time in racing conditions, as you can always get out there, set a fast time, set a good qualifier, a good heater, as it were. But you really want to get that car used to, or get used to that car rather, in race conditions, and that's the best way to do it is under green flag. Here we go. 3 laps to go. 2 at the line. About a good wrench shout out to that good wrench number 8 car. I believe that's Nathan Langell, technically in the 3 car. We'll have to double check on that, as timing and scoring has some of the numbers a little bit on the wonky side. But how about a white flag there for Matthew Barkhouse? He's got himself 7-8 car lengths. Then the wrecking in the back once again. I think we're going to let this one play out. There's Matthew Barkhouse with a quick time. The second to last race, a lap to go. He's going to make it in. Nick Potier, Nathan Langell, and Brianna Weigel, I believe, going to race their way in to this one. Take a look at the unofficial results here for heat race number 2. There you see it. Brianna Weigel getting put into 5th place. Dylan Black going to take that transfer spot. So the 11 going to have to make her way in through the LCQs. But you see Barkhouse, Potier, Langell, and Black, the 4 drivers, moving their way in to the big show here tonight. Everybody else going to have to get the cars ready to rock and roll for those LCQs here coming up momentarily. And speaking of coming up momentarily, we'll get the lineup squared away here for heat race number 3. How about that? Riley Duncan, Tan Woldridge. That's a powerhouse front row here for heat race number 3. Todd Cousins, Nick Axworthy going to roll off in the second row. Joey Steers and Devin Laffin going to round out the first 6 drivers. You see Dave Cassidy, Carter McClay, Mike Rhino, and Cameron Matty going to round out the 10 drivers in this one. And seen some great races throughout the night so far, and I think the racing is just going to get better. The action's going to pick up, and this is going to get absolutely intense, as we've seen some great shows here with the late model stocks, especially with this TCM group. And great to have TCM back on the airwaves here at Vidane TV. We may mention that Tim's schedule's busy, my schedule's busy, Vidane TV's schedule's busy. It's great to have some open calendar time and get these events in there. You see the lights are off. The iRacing pace car going to give them an opportunity to get around one more time, get these tires warmed up, ready to rock and roll here for heat race number 3. Green flag flying here in the 3rd heat race, taking the top 4. 10 laps on the board. Riley Duncan going to lead the first one. Tan Woldridge going to tuck in to that 2nd position. Front 4 have it all sorted out, and that's Todd Cousins, Nick Axworthy, the top 4 drivers. There you can see them nose to tail. The 5 car going to take a peek down below to see if he can make a little magic happen, try and take away that 2nd position. Nothing there. Going to tuck into the tire tracks for the time being. You see the front 4 pulling away just a little bit of a gap there back to Joey Steers in the 5th position. Quick time going to come from P2, Tanton Woldridge, with a hot time that last time by, and you can see he is all over the back bumper of that 97 car of Duncan. P2, Tanton Woldridge. And once again, live and interactive all over the internet, as we like to do here at Vidane TV. We're on the Facebook for Vidane TV, for Tim's Corner Motorsports as well. We're on the Vidane TV YouTube page. We're over on Twitch. We're over on Twitter. Be sure to give us the like, the subscribe, the share, the follow, all that good stuff. Racing 4 nights a week here throughout the winter. Taking a little bit of time off for the Christmas break, as I'll actually be heading down to Daytona for Part week for WKA. That's going to be a whole lot of fun to be able to catch all that action over on Pit Road TV. Very excited to get down to where it's warm because it is cold, cold, cold here in Connecticut. Side-by-side battle for 3rd as got getting heated up there just a little bit. The 62 of Nick Axworthy trying to make a little magic happen, trying to get down into that 3rd position. We ride on board with the 6-2. And in that transfer spot right now, driving underneath the flag stand here, popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go, and he's holding on to that spot with everything he's got because that 23 car of Joey Steers is there. He wants to try and get down underneath. We're going to take the white flag, white rag, 1 lap to go here at Hickory for the third heat race. That 23 car, oh, drives it just a little bit wide. That's the exact cushion that the 62 car is going to need. It looks like it's going to be Axworthy transferring on into the big show. Riley Duncan, Tanton Woldridge, and Todd Cousins going to join them as well. So great racing once again. There's the results unofficially, of course, for heat race number 3. Riley Duncan, Tanton Woldridge, Todd Cousins on the podium. Nick Axworthy going to race his way in that 62 car. Everybody else, Joey Stiers on back, going to have to race their way into these last chance qualifiers coming up momentarily. But man, oh man, we've seen some great racing so far here this evening, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. Getting ready for heat race number 4 once again, folks, taking the top 4 from each of these heat races. We'll get 16 from heat races and another 10 from the LCQs. Josh Langell, Brandon Campbell going to be on the front row for this one. Ryan Messer, VidaneTV's Iron Man in that one car, going to roll off P3. Brandon Langell going to roll off P4 with John Gahan, Troy Burke rounding out the top 6. We turn the page to see Danny Vitch in that Major Melon Mountain Dew number 29 car rolling off P7. Brett Byron, Terry Duguay, and Tim Terry rolling off P10. And that's not the instance that we usually see where race control is going to go out there and, you know, maybe take a couple of laps. Tim's running this race. There you see him. The black and pink number 28 machine going to roll off shotgun on this field. We'll catch up with Timmy after this one and see how he fares in this 4th heat race of the night. Remember, taking the top 4. So the lights are off in the iRacing pace car, getting ready to do battle once again, 2 by 2 by 2, all the way through. And great to see some new different paint schemes for some of these drivers. And there goes the pace car down to the safety of pit road. Green flag flying. Once again, Josh Langell pulling away by just a little bit. The pair of 9s on the outside, the 99 of Brandon Campbell trying to make that magic happen on the high side, all the way up to that outside wall. Side by side with Ryan Messer down on the bottom side. Messer holding the line down to the bottom, and Campbell makes it look easy. Gets on around the outside. Does the body a little bit of good, but there you see Ryan Messer. He's going to kick that screen door open down on the bottom side, as I believe that was Terry Duguay. It might have been Brett Byron. Spun on around a little bit further on back. We stay clean and green here with a quick time from Josh Langell for 1:8 in the 14-second bracket. That clean air doing him some good in that 18 car. Brandon Campbell still holding on to second. He's got a little bit of breathing room between he and Messer, but not much. A bit of a bobble there by the 99. How about a 349 there from Josh Langell as he makes that clean air work for him. Another quick time, this time for Ryan Messer, a 3:48 in the 14-second bracket, and that's coming from the P3 spot. He is still in behind that 99 car of Brandon Campbell. He's got a bit of distance in between he and the 99. He's trying to hold off the Brandon Langell machine in behind, and Campbell with a 3:12 gets the quick time that last time by. That's a pair, maybe a trio, 4-pack of cars, I guess you could call it, running very similar, very identical lap times around this place to get a quick time each and every time. And you can see just how competitive these drivers are, because we love it when the drivers listen in to our broadcast here at Vidane TV, and they always hear that somebody else is going to quick time. So they're going to burn that candle at both ends and try and get themselves a little bit quicker next time by. And as we come to the strike, popsicle sticks, 2 laps to go for Josh Langell up in the front. He's led all the laps so far. Brandon Campbell in the 99. He took a couple of stabs at it, but nothing quite there. You can see really able to close up here on the corner exit. But once Langell gets that hammer down, he's able to pull away and really get on in to the next corner. But there you see Campbell just very, very strong mid-corner on back. And he's going to take one more shot at it in 3 and 4. Sees that door close. Going to go up, give him a little bit of a fist bump there on the bottom. Oh, hang on now. Not sure what that was. I don't know if Langell crossed the stripe. No, Langell hard on the brakes. Campbell going to take the win with some calamity. I'm sure Tim's going to take a peek at that. We check in with Tim. Well, he got P9. He beat Danny Vitch. So Tim getting ready to pull off the track. He's done. Yeah, we're not sure where Tim's going, but we'll get that all sorts of figured out here. But let's take a look. Oh, that's going to be heat race number 3. Let's take a look at heat race number 4 because, my goodness, that was intense. Brendan Campbell, Ryan Messer, Josh Langell, and John Gahan going to be the 4 drivers that transfer on into the big show here tonight. And it looks like we have a 5th heat race. No, just kidding. This is Consi number 1, or D main, getting lined up here. And we'll take a look at the starting grid as soon as the starting grid button wants to work. And apparently it does not. So we're going to try and show the graphic for C main. There we go. See, we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now here at VidaneTV. Still not sure how heat racing works. No, I'll be the first one to admit it. Ashton Tucker, Joey Steers going to roll off on the front row. Bobby Hutchins fast in the 77 car. He's going to roll off P3. Devin Laffin, James DeVoe, and Dave Cassidy, the first 6-pack of drivers to take to the track. There you see Chris Walsh, Cameron Matty, Jack Simpson, Carter McKay, Andrew Starks, Mike Rhino going to round out the top 12, and Ronnie McKay going to round out the field there in P13. 15 laps now on the docket. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. We're taking the top 5 from this one. 5 from each of the Consi races, and that adds up to 10, plus the 14, 15, 16, carry the 1. I think we're getting 25 or so drivers in the main show here tonight to add to everybody that's raced their way in through the heat races, and 150 laps up on the docket for that main show. It's going to go quick here with these short lap times. Green flag's going to fly. The 2 car of Ashton Tucker pulls away by half a car length over that number 2 car, or that number 2 position rather, of Joey Steers. He's side by side with Bobby Hutchins as they head on into the corner, trying to track down Ashton Tucker, who's pulled away by just a bit. The front 3 get it sorted out. The 4th place car, Devin Laffin, pointed in the wrong direction, as is a couple of other drivers. Caution flag going to fly early in this one. We'll take a peek at it from the U-House Racing Designs instant replay up here in the blimp, and race number 5 on the evening, or lap 1. There you see the triple-digit car getting up a little high there. Everything looked okay. We get into 3 and 4. There's the contact between the 37 and the 8 car that initially kicked things off. A couple of drivers checking up towards the back, unfortunately not able to see through the cars, so they weren't able to get woed down quite in time. But that could have been a whole lot worse than it was. You can see Laffin able to grab a gear and get pointed in the right direction and drive on away. Everybody else still going to be chasing Ashton Tucker in the number 2 car. Taking a peek as they run, Tucker, Hutchins, Steers, Cassidy, and McKay going to be the top 5. Quick caution back underway. Ashton Tucker able to pull away. Joey Steers in the 23 car able to make a little magic happen up on the high side. Jack Simpson in the 95 able to pull up just a little bit. Calamity ensues back towards the back. Dave Cassidy around in the 13 car. That's the white flag, though. I believe we're going to finish this one. Ashton Tucker going to head on down into 3 and 4. They're side by side in there for third. Tucker going to take it. Steers going to finish in second. Simpson, Rhino, and McKay appear to be the top 5 in this one as we take a peek at, well, those are the Heat 4 results. We'll take a peek at the C-Main results. There you see Ashton Tucker, Joey Steers, Jack Simpson, Mike Rhino, and Ronnie McKay, the top 5 transferring on into this one. Everybody else going to join us here and watch from the infield here on Vidane TV. And we're going to do some magic here with one more last chance qualifying race, and then we're going to get on to the big show. We'll take a peek here at the starting grid. This is it. Last chance for romance, as our buddy Mike James likes to say. Brianna Weagle on the pole in the number 11 car. Braden Langell in the 026 going to roll off P2. Dave Horton, Brett Byron going to roll off on the second row with Gage Gilby, Terry Duguay in row number 3. The second six-pack of driver led by Corey Burke. Troy Burke going to be in that row together in row number 4. Jason Halverson, Tim Terry going to roll off 9th and 10th. Dylan Jedry and Danny Vitch, that Major Mellon Mountain Dew car, going to roll off P12. And Doug Murray going to round out the field here. 13 drivers taking 5 into the big show here this evening, and they are all going to be chasing down Brianna Weagle and Braden Langell on the front row. And here we go. Green flag once again flying here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And it was a little bit squirrely mid-pack on back. Brandon Langell going to hold on to the lead. Brianna Weagle going to tuck in to second. And then 11 car side-by-side now for third. They thought about 3 wide for a brief second. The 22 car of Brett Byron all the way up to the outside, holding on to it. He's going to dip on down. There you see the 3 car, the Sundrop ride, pointed in the wrong direction. I believe that was Gage Gilby. Oh, that was a big hit. Right on one of our speed cameras, right over top of it. That's going to be Terry Duguay in the 914. That was a big hit for the 914. Hope Terry's okay with that big hit. Take a peek at it here. They see Tim Terry in the 28 car trying to race his way in through the consolation race. 22 of Byron gets up to the outside wall. Terry Duguay comes in and around. Everything looks good there. And there you see, it's got a little loose, it looked like. Maybe overcorrected, seeing the 3 car down on the bottom side. And just kind of slapped up against the car on the left. You can see Terry going to come down to the attention of his virtual pit crew, as is the 01 car of Troy Burke. Going to get some virtual damage repaired on this one, showing 12 laps to go for Brandon Langell, holding on to the lead. Oh, lights out on the pace car once again. There he goes. Hard left-hand turn to the safety of pit road. Langell and Weagle the front row. Weagle spins the tires in the 11 car, collects the field. Caution flag going to fly. Tough break for the 11 car. That is no bueno. You can see Dave Horton grabbing a gear, spinning on and around. We'll take another look at it here on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Right back from the replay. Just a tough break for the 11. Got going, didn't quite get going, spun the tires, got a little bit of assistance from the back, and, well, there you see Calamity ensues on the front straightaway. And there's the 73 ripping on around once again to rejoin the field. So we mix and match just a little bit. Top 5 as they run with 8 laps to go as they cross the stripe that time. Braden Langell, rather, up front. Brett Byron in the 22 there in second. Corey Burke in third. Danny Vitch and Jason Halverson currently in fifth. We might double check on that once they cross the stripe here with timing and scoring. And don't forget, you can follow along at home, www.vidane.tv/scoring. Find out where your driver is running in the field, and we have that up before the green flag is taken as well. So you can follow along in final practice, qualifying before we come on the airwaves here at Vidane TV. www.vidane.tv/scoring, or scan that QR code now to check out the Wingnut Productions timing and scoring. Lights back on the pace car. Going to get their restart, it looks like, with 5, count them, 5 laps to go here at the virtual Hickory. Lights out on the pace car. Here we go. 2x2 throughout the field. 5 laps to go. Big spin from the 741. We're going to see a caution flag. I don't know. Well, that time, yeah, going to have to take one, as we saw Terry Duguay get spun on around as well. So that is a tough break, and we'll get timing and scoring to get itself sorted out once again. Re-rack them, restack them for a green-white checkered to find out who the final 5 are making into the show. So we got them re-racked, restacked, all followed in, tucked in behind that pace car. Lights out, getting ready to take that left-hand turn to the safety of pit road. Once again, going to be 2, count them, 2 laps to go. Green flag flying, there we have it. Pulling away by just a little bit, Braden Langell, he is able to clear the 22 car of Brett Byron. He's able to clear Danny Vitch in that number 29 car. Side by side for that 4th and 5th position. Right now it'd be Jedry and Weagle coming to the stripe. 1 lap to go for Braden Langell. Going to hold on to it. Or is he? He's got a mirrorful of the 22 car. Brett Byron all over the back bumper of Braden Langell, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to get there. He gets to the back bumper, not quite able to get around. Langell takes the checkered flag. Brett Byron, Danny Vitch, Jaden Jedry, and Jason Halverson going to be the top 5 that transfer on into this one. Everybody else going to have to join us here on Vidane TV, and we are going to have ourselves a show. 150 laps on the docket, and we're going to be beating and banging in a big way. There you can see the final for the Vidanes after 16 laps. Langell, Byron, Vitch, Jedry, and Halverson going to transfer on in. Everybody else heading on home in this one, or heading on down into the garage area, the virtual garage area, to catch the rest of the action here on Vidane TV. Going to give these guys an opportunity to basically get a lap or 2 in, check out where their pit stalls are, and we are going to put those 150 laps up on the board, and it's going to be a good time. And the final practice, final warm-up, as it were, in the books. Just as those LCQs, just as the heat races, and we're getting ready to put all of these drivers out on the racetrack for 150 laps. This is going to be an absolute blast. Ryan Messer on the pole in that number 1 car. Tanton Wooldridge going to start on his outside. And YK, Nick Potier, going to roll off P3. Mike Alexander on his outside. More powerhouses here in row number 3. Brandon Campbell in a pair of 9s. Starting in 5th, and Riley Duncan in the 97 car. Going to roll off on the outside of row number 3. We take a peek here once again at the second six-pack. There you see Matthew Barkhouse there in the 7th position. Larry Pace, Ben Ryan, Nathan Langell going to round out the top 10. Todd Cousins, Josh Langell going to round out the top 12 as we just take a peek through the rest of the field. There's Negus in black, Axworthy, John Gahan, Ashton Tucker, Braden Langell after that heat race victory. Going to roll off P18, and Joey Stiers, Brett Byron, Jack Simpson, Danny Vitch, Mike Rhino, Dylan Jedry, the 24 cars, Ryan McKay, and Jaden Halverson going to round out 26 drivers here for this one. This is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun to watch along, and we are going to take that green flag right off the ripski here for Ryan Messer in that 1 car. We are feature racing here for the first time this winter on Vidane TV with the TCM Special Event Groups. Could not be a better night to do it here live. Ryan Messer able to pull away by a couple of car lengths now over the side-by-side battle. The 71 down low, that's Nick Potier. It's going to be the 4 car on your timing and scoring. The 56 of Tanton Wooldridge up on the high side. There's the 75 of Mike Alexander, always quick in these virtual late models. He's up on the high side. Brandon Campbell, the 99. Down there on the bottom, he's side by side with Riley Duncan in the 97 car up on the high time already. Ryan Messer 5:09 with a quick time, but I got a feeling that's going to get much quicker as we get on into this one. Messer out front by a couple of car lengths. You can see Tanton Wooldridge able to sneak on in to the 2nd position. Gaggle of cars from 3rd on back of 4:66. That time by for Wooldridge in the 56 car, and they are side by side from 3rd place on back here on lap number 4. A lot of give and take early on in this one, but it is a long way to go and a short time to get there as these laps go in about 14-15 seconds apiece for each of these drivers. A couple of drivers back towards the pack, a little bit slower than that, but all in all, everybody running relatively decent lap times. 4:39 that time by for Matthew Barkhouse, who has the quick time so far in this one. 99.97. Still side by side. Little loose for Campbell down on the bottom side as he gathers it back up, holds on to that podium. You saw the front 3-4 cars all the way up on the high side of the racetrack. A little bit more grip up on the high side as we've seen here in the past. Riley Duncan able to get around the 99 car. He's now side by side with the 72 down on the bottom side. Check that 71 down on the bottom side. And already these guys putting on a heck of a show here for us at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Front 6 or 7 cars, relatively single file. You can see Brandon Campbell just trying to make a little bit of magic happen, holding on to that top 5, currently running in the 5th spot. He's trying to chase down Riley Duncan in the 97, and he's got a mirror full of that number 71. I believe that's going to be hard to tell. We've got a couple of different paint schemes in there. There's the 97. That 1 car, 71, tough to tell exactly who that is. Timing and scoring giving us the wrong number on here, but in any sense, putting on a heck of a show. You can see just a conveyor belt of late model stocks running around this racetrack, coming around to collect another one here for Ryan Messer, holding on to the lead. You can see the 97 dips low ever so slightly down to the bottom of the racetrack underneath that white line on the bottom, and he gathers it back up, keeps everything going, and just look at those front 5, bumper to bumper to bumper, all the way through. Messer holding on to the lead. Tanton Wooldridge in 2nd, Mike Alexander there in 3rd, Duncan and Campbell the top 5 as they run. 133 laps to go. Ryan Messer still holding on to the lead. Stanton Woldridge is a tight second place, and you can see these drivers getting single file around this one. We do know that this place does eat up tires in a big way, so a lot of drivers might be trying to save a little bit of the equipment for later on in this one, and we've seen a lot of different strategies go in to these late model races, especially with the TCM crowd, as lots of different styles of racing here in this this group as well. So we will see where the cookies crumble in this one for sure. Long way to go, long time to get there. 130 laps to go once we hit the stripe, and they're all still chasing Ryan Messer, Stanton Woldridge. Little side-by-side battle now here for third is Riley Duncan in the 97. Going to go down low. He's going to bobble just a little bit on the inside of Mike Alexander. He's going to hold on to it as they are bumper to bumper, but the caution flag going to fly for something a little bit further on in the back of the pack, and that's going to bring out the caution flag once again here at Hickory. We'll back up to U-House Racing Designs instant replay. There's Brett Byron in the 22 car, the 23 up in there as well. A little side-by-side action in front of them, and we made mention this new replay box is a little bit on the fritz. There's a car that was pointed in the wrong direction. Not sure why it didn't give us that car, but that's going to be Langell in the 18 car pointed towards the victory circle there. We'll back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and there you see he and the 5 car got into it. Looks like they've been battling pretty hard here the past couple of laps. We'll back it up a full lap or so, and there you can see the 18. It looks like he gave him a little bit of a fist bump, the 5 car there. Everything looked good. There's another slight one. Hey, bud, I'm here. Just letting you know that I'd like to open the door and get on by. And well, there you see getting down low and unfortunately running out of real estate. 18 car, kind of a lazy spin down to the inside. That's good news because that could have been a whole lot worse. No harm, no foul for the 18 car. Going to be able to rejoin the field here, and it looks like he's going to be able to do it without losing a lap. So good news for the 18 camp. It's still the bad news though is still 26 drivers in this one, so he's going to restart tail end of the field, P26. For that 18 car. So lots of laps to try and make his way back up towards the front, and we will see if he's able to do so. Lights off the iRacing pace car once again. They're lined up 2 by 2. Messer and Stanton Woldridge up front. Caution flag once again, 120 laps to go. Ryan Messer still out front. Stanton Woldridge, Riley Duncan, Mike Alexander, and Nick Pottier are going to be the top 5 as they run. Nathan Langell, Ben Ryan, Larry Pace, John Gahan, and Dylan Black, the top 10. 31 laps into this one. Long way to go. Still have all 26 drivers here in the field. Everybody's still on the lead lap as well. Brandon Campbell, the new driver, that's back on the end of the line. There's the 99 car of Brandon Campbell having some issues there, but we're all lined up behind the pace car. Still has the lights on as we got ourselves to this point in the night. Ran some heat races. We took 4 drivers from each of the 4 heat races. We took 5 from the 2 consolation races and got ourselves a 24-car field here tonight. It's been some great racing here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Love to have everybody here with us on a Sunday night. Live all over the internet, as we like to do here at Vidane TV. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, all of them. Be sure to give us the like, the subscribe, the share, the follow, all that good stuff, and let your friends and family know you're watching a little bit of the iRacing action on a Sunday night. And oh, by the way, you can follow along at home by punching in www.vidane.tv/scoring. Vidane.tv/scoring will give you the Wingnut Productions timing and scoring page, and that'll give you all the lap times, running order, where all these drivers are lined up and running throughout the field. One of the new tools that we have here at Vidane TV, and it's bringing us into the new ages here of the sim racing broadcast, even the real racing broadcast somewhere down the road as well. As we've made mention a time or two, got some cool stuff on the go. Green flag flies once again as we cross the stripe. 116 laps to go. Ryan Messer, Tan Woolridge able to break away. Side by side, in behind for third. Riley Duncan able to get away, but we got a car pointed in the wrong direction back there at the pit road entry. I believe it was a 16 car. I might be wrong. A couple of other cars involved there as well. Yellow, 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 yellow. And there you see the calamity ensuing from the U-House Racing Designs instant replay high atop the racetrack. A couple of drivers getting a piece of the action. Everybody able to drive away. That's definitely good news for everybody mid-pack on back. Going to gather it back up. There's some damaged race cars back towards the back of the pack, but gives these guys kind of an opportunity to come down pit road and get everything sorted out. And I can bet you Tim Terry is hot on the horn, letting these drivers know we're trying to put on a show here, and we want to see some more green flag racing action that we saw earlier on in this one. But it's been a minute since these drivers have all gotten together and run here on iRacing here for Vidane TV. So got to shake the cobwebs out just a little bit, and we'll get back to racing once again. Double-double all the way through. Green flag flying. Great start there once again by the one car of Ryan Messer, able to pull away and clear Tanton Woolridge there in second, as the battle once again going to be for, well, this time for second, as Riley Duncan sees the screen door open on the bottom side. Bit of a wiggle there for the 97 car on the bottom side of the racetrack. Holds on to it. As you can see, Messer dip down low onto the apron, help turn that car just a little bit. Tanton Woolridge able to break free of Riley Duncan right now. He's going to tuck into the tire tracks. Battle now for fourth and third. Mike Alexander has it in that 75 car. He's up in that middle groove. The 71 down on the bottom side. About Tanton Woolridge getting that clean air, making it work for him with a 398 just before the caution flag flies. Jack Simpson pointed in the wrong direction this time here on lap number 43. We'll back up to tapes and take a little peek as what went down here in this one. Couple of quick little caution flags here in this one as we gather everybody back up. There you can see the 95's up on the high side. Everything looked a-okay that corner. A couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate up into the outside wall. Mike Rhino gets a piece of the action as well. The 16, or the 91 rather, gets some of that mess as well. It's a tough break for those drivers, and there you see they're going to have to restack in the back of the field, and they're going to come down pit road. The 95 faked everybody out. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. A couple of drivers did, in fact, come down pit road, though. They're going to get some virtual sheet metal worked on and get see what they can do here for the final 100 or so laps. 150 on the docket and 107 to go. Probably get that restart here with about 105, maybe 104 laps to go. As everybody going to rejoin behind the pace car. Quick time for Riley Duncan, 366 in that 14-second bracket. That shows you that that car's pretty quick. Ryan Messer still up front. Tanton Woolridge there in second. 100 laps to go in this one. Caution flag flies. Everybody's ragged. Looks like 10th on back may have been involved in this one. We'll back it up and take a peek at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay from the blimp. And you can see everybody kind of 2 by 2 throughout the field. Everything looking A-okay. The 22, the 55 side by side. And there's the action up towards the front, and it works its way all the way towards the back. A couple of drivers coming in to say hello from back in turn 4. And there you see parking lot. Heading on into turn number 1. Tough break. There's a lot of damaged race cars in this one. Maybe 10 laps or so ago, we had all 26 drivers on the lead lap. That's broken down to about 14 left to do battle for the victory here in this one. As a couple of quick cautions, they've stacked up a lot of these virtual pit crews down there on pit road. You see the 23 car steers down there, the 95 down on pit road as well, getting some service to the virtual machines here. And less than 100 laps to go. You might see some drivers try and come down, maybe take some tires, make sure they really want to get that all the damage repaired on the virtual machines, but they're going to get re-racked, restacked once again. And Messer, Tanton Woolridge, Ryan Messer, Tanton Woolridge still up front as they hold on to it. One of the things we really got to keep an eye on as we take a brief and ferocious look at the schedule here. Jared Slaunwhite, there you saw, won the race back in November. Riley Duncan has himself a win. Messer has a win last week. And we're here with the next couple of races on VidaneTV. But the point standings, Brandon Campbell came in with a 10-point lead over Riley Duncan. And there you can see it was a little bit more of a gap on back to Tanton Woolridge with 264. Brandon Campbell's currently scored in the 26th position, 22 laps down. So, someone's at the door.
Hi.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
I could be better.
How'd the car go in the heat race?
Just want to let you know, I let them know in the session too, as we got people running into each other, and that's probably not going to help. Incident cap tonight's at 21. We have 9 drivers that are currently over half of the incident cap. So if you start seeing cars disappear, they probably shouldn't have run into each other earlier in the race.
That's a fact. We saw some good, clean racing up earlier on in this one. Saw a little bit of bumper cars action in this one. Now, this is going to change the mood just a little bit. Now that the drivers are aware, or they've been made aware once again that there's an incident cap of 21 points, they will essentially race just a little bit cleaner because they don't want to get booted out on incident points. And essentially, for those that are new to the iRacing world, an incident points is any time you run into something. So if you hit another car, or if you hit the wall, or if you go off track, you get a 1 or a 2x or 1 or 2 points. If you cause a big wreck, it can go anywhere from 4 to 8 points. And those essentially get collected for each of these drivers throughout the race. It's something that's done automatic. It's not anybody else. It's all done by the iRacing service itself, so there's no discrimination or anything like that. Riley Duncan just going to send it on down in the corner and get around Tanton Wooldridge for second. That 97 car is pretty quick, and we've seen him up towards the front in a lot of late model races here on Vidane TV, but Messer still quicker. 364 is the new quick time as he pulls away by just a little bit in that number 1 car. Front 5, 6 cars able to pull away. Caution flag, though, for some of the drivers towards the back of the pack, it appears. We take a quick look around the racetrack. Don't see anybody pointed quite in the wrong direction. A couple of drivers down on pit road there. You see Matthew Barkhouse in the 15 car down on pit road. Mike Rhino down there as well. Has been there for a minute, as has Ashton Tucker, the 91 car, back out on track. It looks like everybody here is pointed in the right direction. So we'll take a peek at it. We'll rewind the tapes and see what all comes up, but it looks like that's going to focus in up on the leaders here. There you see Messer holding on to it and getting woed down for the caution, so not quite sure where the incident laid out on this one. But 85 laps to go. There you see the free pass car coming on around. Going to put one more on the lead lap. 14 cars currently on the lead lap. Handful of drivers getting caught up in some earlier incidences, and we heard from the big boss man, Tim Terry, came into the booth, let us all know that these drivers get a 21 incident point cap. So they have a little bit of wiggle room if they do, in fact, get up into some wrecks or some tussles on the racetrack. They've got a couple of points to deal with, but once they get up to 21, they will get that black flag. They'll get disqualified and removed from the session. So some of the drivers are going to be changing up some of their driving style by a little bit as they get reminded of that little bit of a Timbit. And they are all still going to be chasing on down Ryan Messer, who has the lead. Riley Duncan, Tanton Wooldridge, the top 3 as they run. Still Mike Alexander up there in the 75 car, having himself a solid day. Nick Potier in the 71. There you see the Hendrick.com's car down on the bottom side, having himself a solid top 5 so far. Dylan Black, Dylan Jedry, Todd Cousins, Brett Byron, Nick Axworthy, the top 10 as they run. Still on the lead lap, Nathan Langell, John Gahan, Josh Langell, and Larry Pace. Lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. Lights are going out, I believe, this time by. There they go. On the pace car, getting ready to go racing once again. .81 laps to go. We take the green flag. Ryan Messer able to pull away side by side for second. Riley Duncan up on the high side. Tanton Wooldridge down to the bottom side. The 97 trying to get around for second once again. The whole time the 75 car of Mike Alexander is there. Nick Potier up in the mix as well. Very easily could turn this in to a five-way brawl for that lead spot. There you see Dan Woldridge now going to try and take a peek down on the bottom side to see if he can get back around for that second position. But Riley Duncan, he's up the track just a little ways, and you can see really driving on down, giving himself a bit of a late apex, as it were, in that 97 car, and really driving off the corner. You can see really starting to close up now on the back bumper of the number 1 car of Ryan Messer, and everybody else pretty much following in single file. Mike Alexander trying a little bit of something up on that middle groove to see if he can get a little bit more grip, a little bit more action up on that high side. But there you see Riley Duncan just doing everything he can. We'll ride on board here with that 97 car, and dark and mysterious on the inside of the 97 car, but you can hear it bouncing off the chip, getting on into it. He is making that car work for him. Crossing the stripe, 76 laps to go. You saw him, or you heard him rather, once again. You can hear him getting into the corner. Right there. Getting into the corner, bouncing it off the rev limiter, and heading on. And caution flag going to fly, though, once again here at the virtual Hickory. As we take a peek at the U-House Racing Design instant replay, see if we can find out who is pointed in the wrong direction. And we've made mention we're still kind of working the kinks out with our replay system here as we've switched that up in the Calamity here. There you see a great shot, though. The 95 gets around, as does the 16 car. Both pointed in the wrong direction. Couple of slow spins. They're able to gather it back up. That's going to be Jake Simpson in the 95 car that's able to get going once again, and down and rolling. So could have been a whole lot worse for the 95 camp. Could have been a whole lot better, though. 75 laps in, 2 laps down currently for the 95 camp. You can see there's some big-time damage on that late model stock. So we will likely see that 95 car come on down pit road. Just past the halfway marker here in this one, the Hickory Motor Speedway 150 for TCM. Round 4 here with the late model stocks. Biggest news of the night. Points leader Brandon Campbell coming in with a 10-point lead. Heading on into this one, currently scored dead last. Had some issues earlier on in this one. Brandon Campbell, the 99 car, parked it in pit road. He has currently scored 26th out of 26. So not what you want to see as the point leader, but it's going to be what everybody else wanted to see in the rest of the championship hunt. Troubles for Brandon Campbell. He's watching at home on Vidane TV, and we're getting ready to do battle once again. Messer on the bottom side. Duncan up top, side by side, all the way through. Green flag flying once again, doing battle here at Hickory. Messer able to pull away. Duncan doing everything he can up on that high side to hold on to second. You can see he is able to pull away by Tanton Woldridge by just a little bit, but now Woldridge has a mirror full of that blue and green machine. Mike Alexander has showed up in a big way in that 75. Oh, trouble for Potier, the 71 car, pointed in the wrong direction. Big slide. I don't believe he was able to save it. He did. They are still not quite wrecking, but man, oh man, big slide there for the 71. There you see the 23 car off the pace as well, but my goodness, were they able to catch that, save that? That's a tough break for Nick Potier, but we stay clean, we stay green, still chasing down Messer in the 97 car. He's there. He is all over the back bumper of that number 1 car. He's not looking too far back in the rearview mirror because Tanton Woldridge is right there. But the 97, we saw him rack off a couple of those quick times earlier on in this one, and he knows he has a fast car, but it's going to be one thing to get up to the back bumper of Ryan Messer in that number 1. He's got enough time to mess with him. He's got enough time to go to school and try and learn where he's quicker, where he's slower, or do you try and get around him now? 65 laps to go for Messer, and you can see Duncan right in behind all over the back bumper. He's going to back up just a little bit, try and get on back to the attack Once again, that 97 car is hooked up. There you see the 56 in behind. Tanton Wooldridge, always quick in these late models. Mike Alexander, first time we've seen him on Vidane TV in a little bit, but it's also been the first time that we've seen the TCM group, pardon me, the TCM group on the airwaves here as well. A little bit wide for the 97 of Duncan that time by, and you could hear it through the fans, through the crowd, just bouncing it off that rev limiter, bouncing it off the chip. The 97 car putting in work here tonight. He drops back just a little bit. Wooldridge all over the back bumper now of that 97 car. Wanting to take that second place back. He takes a peek down low. Nothing quite there. Back into the tire tracks all the while. The 75 has the best seat in the house for this triple threat match up front. Going to the stripe, 60 laps to go here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway, live all over the internet here this evening. They're live and for the most part interactive. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we're on TikTok, all over the place. Let us know who you're pulling for, where you're watching from, and we'll try and get to you before the night is through. 59 laps to go this time by. Tanton Wooldridge, big shot down on the bottom side, has to check up just a little bit, but that door is open. The 75 all over the back bumper of the 56, almost trying to push the issue. As you can see, Mike Alexander wants to see that 56 go high, trying to battle with Duncan, so the 75 can slide on into that third position down on the bottom side. Chess, not checkers, here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Almost side by side once again. This battle for second is not done. Pulling away by a couple of car lengths once again is Ryan Messer, clear by 7 as it were. The 97 a little bit higher that time by, leaves the door open for Wooldridge. Wooldridge going to take a peek down on the bottom side. He gets a nose up to his door that time by, coming out of turn number 4. Has to check up just a little bit. You saw the wiggle out of the 56, but he is not going to give up just yet. Hard charging once again. You could put a piece of paper and it would probably stick between the 56 and the 97. Side by side, Mike Alexander is exactly wanting to see this, as is Messer. He's able to look at his rearview mirror and see these guys get smaller and smaller as he pulls away. Messer out front. Side-by-side battle for second. Riley Duncan up on the high side. Tanton Wooldridge down on the bottom. And oh, by the way, Mike Alexander in the 75 car. He wants to play as well. Triple threat match for second place. 53 laps to go, 52 at the stripe. As we take a look at the second place battle, we notice there's a little bit of lap traffic up in front. Messer's going to have to deal with that here in the next 5 to 10, maybe 15 laps. And we are going to get there. 50 laps to go in this one. Still side by side for second. These guys putting on a show. They've raced with each other before. They're going to race with each other once again. But Duncan up on the high side doing everything he can to try and hold off Tanton Wooldridge. But Wooldridge going to get a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a push from that 75 car. Mike Alexander in fourth position. As you can see, they are able to climb on up. Wooldridge in front of the 97. The door still mildly open just a little bit for Mike Alexander, just enough. He's going to try and take a peek down low, tuck that nose up in there, and see if he can get that screen door to open once again, get himself on to the podium. Mike Alexander now side by side with a 97 over Riley Duncan. Less than 50 laps to go here at Hickory. Tanton Wooldridge able to slide on by the 97 of Duncan. There you can see way off in the distance. It's 11 o'clock at the hotel, and Ryan Messer has checked out. He has himself almost a full second lead over Tanton Wooldridge, who has made his way up to second. He's got about a half second on back to the new battle for third. 97 has it. The 75 wants it, and they got breathing room in behind. Dylan Gendry Currently holding on to 5th, Brett Byron, Todd Cousins, Larry Pace, Dylan Black, Josh Langell. Great recovery for that 18 car. Saw him wrecked earlier on. They round out the top 10 currently as they run. And with the incident counter set at 21, it appears we've got 13 drivers currently on the lead lap. And we've got ourselves a bit of a green flag run here this time. And we see Ryan Messer is all about the green flag runs as he is checked out. He's gone. He's about a second in front of the field. Dan Woolridge trying to chase him down, but not quite enough vehicle left in that one. You can see Riley Duncan still side by side with Mike Alexander as they battle side by side for third. And these guys have been putting on a show here for us for about 10-15 laps, maybe even longer than that, as Mike Alexander able to get down to the inside, and he's going to try and complete that pass as we come to the stripe for 40 laps to go. You don't want to leave a side-by-side, pardon me. You don't want to leave a side-by-side battle, but man, oh man, we got racing all the way around the racetrack. As you can see, Duncan still holding off on the high side. There you can see Dylan Jedry, there in the 5th position. He's got Brett Byron in the 22 car all up in the mix. How about a side-by-side battle for 7th? Larry Pace down in the bottom side in the 50 car. The 5 up top, holding on tough, trying to make that magic work. Todd Cousins, Dylan Black up in this mix, and you can see there's a handful of drivers. It's Josh Langell trying to move himself up in the 18th car, and Nick Pachier back in the mix as well. There's 16 trying to make a little magic happen. Beating and banging back here for the second half of the top 10 as I chew down 3 or 4 more cough drops. I've been sick as a dog this week, folks, so I do apologize for the voice cracks and the all-overness with my voice, but we're going to fight through it, and we're going to get to the end of this one. Only 37 laps to go, right? As these guys putting on a heck of a show. We check back in up front. Ryan Messer's gone. There you see him, the 1 car. He's going to come down. He's going to wave at the crowd. He is all focused. He's got some lap traffic up in front of him. We'll ride on board with him for a lap and just kind of listen in to how smooth the 1 car is. You can hear just off the throttle, coasting on in, back on nice and smooth, really able to gain some time on those drivers up in front of him. And you gotta wonder, once he gets up to these guys, they're probably going to move right on over. Is that 1 car very, very quick. You can see just how quickly, I believe that's the 23 car that Messer is closing in. It is indeed the 23 car. So Joey Steers already a lap down. Messer trying to get up there and put the tail end of the field down a lap. Tant Woldridge there in second. He's got some breathing room in front of and behind as we work lap 119 in this one. Mike Alexander able to finally complete the pass and then some. He pulls away by a big margin over Riley Duncan. Dylan Jedry back here. He's got a mirror full of the 22 car of Brett Byron. He's going to take a peek down low to see if he can get back a little bit closer to the front. There you see it. Dives all the way down on the bottom side. I believe that's a Hoblikins fabrication car. Oh, contact between the 22 and the 28. The 28, though, checks up. Great heads-up driving by Jedry, able to save that one. That could have been catastrophic for both Byron and Jedry. The 22 car able to take the position, move himself into the top 5. You can see Larry Pace back there as well. Dylan Black all still chasing a leader. Ryan Messer, and his lead, it shrunk by about half. That lap traffic may very well be messing with the 1 car just a little bit. As you can see, no longer in clean air. He's got a handful of cars up in front of him, and Tant Woldridge has been able to close the gap in a massive way. You can see it went from a full second here about 5 laps ago to about 0.3 of a second as we get closer and closer to the end of this one. And this is going to be interesting because the drivers have to catch the lap traffic and then get down and around them. So we'll see how quickly Messer's able to make that magic happen. The 23 of Steers is going to go up the high side of the racetrack and let the 1 car by. Woldridge able to take that same lane and get there as well. The 91 going to move on high as well to let the top 2 drivers on through. Mike Alexander back a little bit further on. About 2 seconds is the gap between he and these front 2. Little bit of a bobble there from the 91 up in front of Tant Woldridge with 25 laps to go. Woldridge is there. He's on the back bumper of Messer. We'll see if Messer's able to pull away but he's got a little bit of clean air before he gets up to that next lap car. But Ryan Messer holding on to the lead right now by 0.3 of a second over Tant Woolridge in the 56. And with 17 laps to go, you can see Ryan Messer holding on to the lead, but not by much. Tant Woolridge right there, 3-4 car lengths in behind. That lap traffic is side by side up in front of these two guys. You got to wonder, their spotters are yelling at them, hey, the leaders are there. They got to get by. And you can see the 5 car goes up to the high side. Messer able to get by. And you got to wait all the way to the turns 1 and 2 before the one can get down and around the 62 car. The one going to make that magic happen. Tant Woolridge going to try and tuck in there as well down the bottom side of the racetrack. A little bit of a slide there for the 56 as he holds on to it. He's going to lose a little bit of time getting around the lap traffic. You can see now 5-6 car lengths is the gap from first on back to second, about a half a second as it were on the racetrack. 14 laps to go, 13 once we cross the stripe. More lap traffic though up in front of the 1 car. Hasn't really been too much of an issue all night long, but Messer having to deal with some traffic up in front of him for the first time here this evening. And as we take a peek, we can look at the biggest movers of the race so far. How about Dylan Jedry in the 028? He's up 16 spots. Brett Byron, saw him earlier on in the 22 car. He's up 13. Jason Halverson up 10. Dylan Black up 8 spots. Larry Pace as well as Joey Steers up 4. And Langell, Negus, Axworthy, and Simpson all up 2 or 3 spots here as well. So lots of movement throughout the field in this one, and they're all still trying to chase down Ryan Messer, coming out of 3 and 4, crossing the stripe. 10 laps to go here at Hickory. Well, you heard it on the screen, didn't quite see it on my screen, but caution flag going to fly. Going to get a restart with less than 10 laps to go. And judging by that thud that I heard looking at the other monitor here, that sounded like it was relatively close to our leader. We'll back up to U.S. Racing Designs instant replay and see if we can catch exactly what went down. There's the 71 car coming into frame. Everything looking A-OK there. And I believe this is the slowdown. There's Negus in the 55. So we'll see if we can back that up one more time. Oh, he got himself a flip. You know the rules. And there's, we'll back it up. We'll take a peek at it. And then we're going to take a look from on the inside of that double 5 car, and everything looks good. Getting into the corners, gets up to the back bumper of the 18, gets a little bit of assistance there from the 28, and gets himself a solid 1 roll. And that's scary because that was the lap traffic that was right in front of the leader. There's your leader in the 1 car, so that could have been a whole lot worse than it was. We'll back that up one more time and take a look from on board the 55 car of Scott Negus. And this is tough. There you see it, wall, ground, sky, sparks. Hey, back on all 4s. Almost got clipped by the 71, but they got better. Got a little bit of luck in that one. Those 55 able to drive on away. Looks like they're going to park it for the evening, and they're going to be, looks like 16th, maybe 17th place here when it's all said and done for the 55 car. But there you see, everybody's still chasing down that one car of Ryan Messer. Tanton Woolridge in behind. Larry Pace, new third-place driver. Dylan Black in fourth. Josh Langell, the top five as they run. Brett Byron, Mike Alexander, Nick Potier, Ben Ryan, and Nick Axworthy going to be the top 10 as they run. And we've got pit stops happening that have already happened. A couple of drivers coming down pit road. There you see a couple of drivers still getting service. This is going to match things up. Tim's at the door. Hey, Tim.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I am having a blast. I could go for another beer, though.
Well, we can go for a beer here in 5 laps. The 55 car has been parked for using a something against another driver. We're not going to say what, but it was enough for him to be DQ'd, and he's probably going to sit a week.
Well, there you have it. Unfortunate news for the Negan camp, but unfortunately, you do the crime, you got to do the time. Pace car's down and away. 5 laps to go. 4 when we cross this stripe. There it is. Green flag from Bubbles up in the flag stand. And remember, folks, you don't have to be lonely at flaggersonly.com. Quick caution already, though, as we're going to re-rack them, restack them once again. There's the 026. Braden Langell pointed in the wrong direction. Had himself a heat race victory earlier on. And we'll take a peek at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. It looked like right off the start, got a little bit of a bump ski from the 5 car, pointed him in the wrong direction. So this one's going to go into overtime, and we've got a lot of drivers that still have fresh tires, and we have maybe 3-4 drivers that do not. This is going to get squirrely in a big, big way. So as we take a look up front, we'll see if we can compare when these drivers came down pit road. Doesn't appear that it wants to do what we want it to do here with the graphics. So that's not a problem. Luckily, we've got Wingnut Productions timing and scoring to help us out. Ryan Messer, Tanton Woolridge, and Dylan Black have all been out. They have not come down pit road. They have the original set of tires that they put on that car. Larry Pace, P3, came down 82 laps ago, and he got 2 tires. Josh Langell, Brett Byron, Nick Potier, Mike Alexander, 5th through 7th or 8th, they all came down under that last caution. It appears they got 2 right side tires. 4 tires for the 218 of Ben Ryan, but that was 100 laps ago. He's back in 9th. Everybody in behind him on the lead lap has at least 2 tires. Some of them have 4 tires. So this is going to get squirrely. We've seen tires do magical things here with these late model stocks and the super late models here on Vidane TV. Do we have enough time to let those things shine, though? If Messer and Tanton get themselves a little bit squirrely, it might be a great opportunity for somebody in that second half of the top 10 to take advantage of those 4 tires and really drive through the field. But oh, by the way, we're only going to get 2 laps to do it. Lights out on the iRacing pace car. Messer down on the bottom side. Tanton Woolridge up on the high side. This is what it's all about, folks. 150 laps on the docket. We're getting into overtime, and we're going to find ourselves a winner. Tanton wants to get himself the points lead. Messer wants to go back-to-back. The pace car's down on the pit road. Green flag flies for what could be the final time here this evening. Messer able to pull away. He clears Woolridge. 3 wide for third. Josh Langell in the 18, down and around. He is pointing the wrong direction. Looks like he has been booted because of that, the incident marker, the incident cap of 21. White flag, white rag, last lap here for Ryan Messer. We've got some calamity going on in the background, but we're going to race it out. Messer down into 3 and 4 for the final time. He's going to take the checkered flag. Tanton Woolridge going to come home in second. Dylan Black going to finish in third. Larry Pace and Mike Alexander going to come home in the top 5. And we'll take a peek at the running order here momentarily. But, folks, that's what it's all about. A little bit of late model racing here on Vidane TV. That was an absolute blast to watch, and we hope you had fun. And we're going to talk to these drivers here momentarily and talk to our final top 3 drivers, as it were, as that was one heck of a finish as they all get lined up on the front straightaway. And We're going to talk to the winner, parked right there in Victory Lane, Ryan Messer. Ryan, I think you've won now in all of the leagues we broadcast here on Vidane TV this season alone. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good. Didn't have a great heat race, but ended up getting second somehow, which, however the invert worked, put me on the pole. I didn't really know, but I didn't ask too many questions, so I took that and ran with it. Was able to save enough early on, and Tanton was the better car at the end there. Just he got through lap traffic a little worse off than I did, which was good for me. But I figured that green, white checkers at the end was really going to be a little bit dicey, but we were able to sneak away with it.
Another dub here on Vidane TV. Who's out there watching, Ryan? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
I'm sure there's probably some of my friends and family watching that. They like to always watch these things in the off season, so just shout out to them. Tim for putting these things on. He's been doing these for a while now, and they're always a lot of fun to come on here and do. And you guys at Vidane for broadcasting. It's been a lot of fun.
Coming home with a victory, solid victory here. Led all the laps too, I think. Most of them anyway. But congratulations. Good run.
Thank you.
And we'll slide just a little bit further on down the front straightaway. Talk to Tanton Woldridge, who potentially may have taken over the points lead. We'll have to get up with Tim before we get off the air here. But Tanton, great run. Finished in second. What else did you need to get around Ryan?
I don't know. There probably wasn't a whole lot that I could have done. He just played it really well. These light model stock cars are a lot different than the supers. There's kind of some different tricks to them to both build speed and also save tires. So I'm very fortunate to have spent a lot of time in light model stocks building setups for Elite Performance Industries. So yeah, I was able to kind of use some of the tricks that I had learned from that to build some speed tonight, and it's really, really hard to pass in these cars. So kind of slipped back to third there, and then had a really great battle with the 97 Rally Duncan. Really clean battle. But when we were having that rally, kind of slipped away, Ryan slipped away to a pretty sizable lead. And I was happy that we could kind of close that on a long green flag run. But at the same time, he was kind of using up the tire to do that. So no, he just he played a really smart race tonight, and congrats to Ryan.
Absolutely, and we'll give you an opportunity here, Tanton, to thank anybody that's at home watching. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, big thank you to the entire Motorsports crew. I was actually in Discord with some of them tonight, Chris Walsh and Troy Burke. So always a huge thank you to them. And yeah, I guess some of the real life sponsors would be Chris Fournier, Remax, Livingston Steel, Rainers Automotive, East Prince Roofing. We have a bunch of those on the car tonight. So obviously huge thanks to all those guys. And I guess exam week's starting here at school, so better get to studying now.
Got to keep those grades up for sure. Tanton Woldridge with a second place finish here tonight. Congratulations, man. Good run.
Awesome. Thank you, and thanks to Tim and you guys for putting this on. It's a lot of fun.
And we'll slide a little bit further on into the garage area. Dylan Black sneaking on into the podium. Great run, and the only other of the three drivers that did not come down pit road all night long. Would tires have probably helped the finishing position here tonight, Dylan?
You know what? I'm not too sure. There's so many cautions. It kind of worked out, I think. I was quite surprised not to see more people go down, I guess. But yeah, no, good run. I got to apologize to Tank Pothier there. I wrecked his night for sure. But yeah, no, we'll take third.
Yeah, all in all, a good finishing night, good points night here as well. Give you an opportunity here, Dylan. Anybody out there watching, who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, gotta thank my old man. I think he's watching. We got Shady Brook Enterprises on the car, DTM Trucking, Porter's Lake Septic, Schooner General Contracting, and yeah, that's about it.
P3 for Dylan Black. First podium I think we've seen you on here in TCM for at least a little while on Vidane TV. Solid run. Congratulations.
Thanks, Paul.
Absolutely, and can't get off the air without talking to Tim. Tim, heck of a show. Little rough around the edges there at one point or another, but all in all, not a bad show.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I figured we would have a few more cautions at the end and a little less in the middle, but overall, I think the guys did a good job for the most part. Congratulations to Ryan and Tanton and Dylan on the top 3. Our top 3 this year in every race gets into the TCM showcase. So we added one in the 08 tonight into the finale, which is January 14th at Oxford. So yeah, that's great. We had some guys that had some tough runs. We had some guys that, kind of lost their head a little bit, but you know what? That's racing. We'll move on. The great thing is that the next race that is scheduled is the Smashed Potatoes. So if they want to take out any vendettas, they are more than welcome to come back. South Boston, I think it's going to be the street stocks. We may add the mini stocks. We got to figure that out coming up a week from Thursday. So there's lots to race for, lots to come up, and in a very short period of time. So yeah, congratulations to them. And our next one is Thursday the 19th.
That'll be a doubleheader with the NEP Super Truck Series that night. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Trouble for the points leader here tonight. Brandon Campbell finishing P26. Kent Woolridge second in points, third in points. Coming into this one, finishes in second. Things are going to get tight. Be sure to check out all of the socials, TCM, Tim's Corner Motorsports, as well as Vidane TV. But that's going to do it here for us from the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. We'll see you on the flip side. And when we do, we'll be doing it live.